Some lighting is kind of shot on my phone.
Hey everybody, what's going on? We're back. Television Radio, Bay Ragni here, and you see my guest is here. He's patiently waiting, Mr. Michael Vampire from Dead Girls Academy. But before we get to Michael, real quick, I just got to tell everybody, this show and all of our shows is brought to you by Next Home Brandywine in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Dan Peasy and his team of professional realtors, they're able to provide you with guidance, knowledge, and information for all buyers and sellers. Visit nexthomebrandywine.com for all the details or to contact an agent. They do service Philadelphia and the surrounding counties, but they do handle nationwide referrals as well. There's offices in 48 of the 50 states. So go to nexthomebrandywine.com for more information. Be sure to ask for the NH5 listing special or just give them a call directly at 484-364-4862. That's 484-364-4862. Tell them Totally Driven Radio sent you. Michael, the return. How the hell have you been, man?
Good, man. How have you been?
Dude, doing well, doing very well. It's much better, especially you're a visual dude. We need to see you. You don't need to see me, but it's much better than doing a phone interview.
No, I appreciate this, man. I like doing video better, so it's more of a connection.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. So it's funny too. Like I like all this stuff hit me as I was getting ready for the interview. I saw you guys play, just over a year ago in Philly when you guys were on tour at Adelita's Way. And one of the opening acts was Zero Theorem, which I just talked to Caesar, the lead singer, the other day and interviewed him because they got new music out now too. So it's kind of like you guys are on a little parallel course going on.
Well, that's great to hear. Yeah, they were super cool guys when we were on that little run with them. So I wish them luck with everything.
Nice. Now, how about you and the guys in the band? How you guys holding up with this whole COVID pandemic thing going on?
It's been a challenge. It's weird to have your whole world stop. I mean, especially us for the touring, at least the touring part of it. And you start figuring out new aspects of life, if you will, like who you really are and what you want to achieve. And I've just been lucky enough to have been working on music during that time. So it's kind of got my brain, still on path and where I want to be. But it's been a challenge, man. How about yourself? Crazy, right?
Yeah, actually, it's been actually very good for me because it made me like I have a whole new life now. Like I was living in Philly, like I said back then. I'm living in Nashville now. Got a whole new life going on, and it made me appreciate my new life much more. And it made me be able to do a lot more shows and bring this show back and be able to do explore the video world and video aspect of it, and just being back in the game, doing all this stuff again. And I'm just over the mountain, excited.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I would assume too, because I feel like this is a way to connect now with your fans and with people and doing this kind of stuff. I mean, I really appreciate you doing it because it's really one of the only outlets we have.
Yeah, like I mean, have you guys done any? I don't think you have like any of the whole live streaming thing that some of the bands are doing.
We haven't gone to that level yet of doing any kind of live broadcast. The only reason because it just was so oversaturated, and I wanted to do something special if we were to do it. And people don't realize that when you stop touring, because our last time we were on tour was with POD, and that was in November. So
wow.
we haven't got together to actually do something, more songs lately. So, to practice the new ones yet. So we'd have to practice all of them and then get it together and make it right. So when we do that, I want it to be special. So we're waiting on it.
Nice. Let me see. So Nick, there you go. So here's Nick.
Hey, Nick.
And Nick actually interacts with you a lot on social media. His daughter is a huge fan of you. He actually brought a whole big topic up to me that he really wanted to talk to you about. And I figured, I said, Nick, since he's out with his family, you guys can, as soon as you pop on, you can talk about this. So this is really something pretty impressive. And I think people need to really hear this about you, Michael.
Okay, so my wife and daughter, they were just talking in the car one day, and they've been to a lot of concerts in the Phoenix area. They were at your guys' first concert. and I was just listening to them, and they were just talking about how at this concert, this guy was walking around just like smacking people's ass, and how at another concert there was a security guard that was fired because he was like aggressively hitting on the girls. And then they were telling me about this time they were at the merch table, and this guy was like bumping into them and clearly, trying to get a grab in, and like the guys had to stand up and like tell them back the hell off. And it just struck me like the way that they were talking about it, it was like every concert that they have been to, they had a story from. And
Right.
they were talking specifically about you guys because she's been to a lot of your guys' shows. And she was just like, they're very vocal. They're very like, if they see something going on, they will stop and tell someone and put someone in their place. And I wanted to just kind of run that by you and see, like, from your perspective, from the stage, what's it like as far as that?
Well, I mean, anytime I see something like that, I definitely address it. And I was brought up by my mother, so it's like when I'm at a show, it's the ultimate respect thing, and it's very important to me that everyone keeps their distance to people that they don't know and keeps their hands off of them. So if I did see that from the stage to the crowd, I would definitely stop and say something. I have said stuff at the merch booth. I have removed people.
Right.
From shows that were getting a little aggressive, especially in the more of the Vampires Everywhere days, where it was a lot more of a goth community, and it's a whole sort of fetish thing going on there. So there's all sorts of limitations that need to be met in order to go to a show successfully nowadays, and especially because everything is so woke, and I'm very curious to see how this is all going to correlate when things start moving again, because I have this feeling that shows will never be the same again.
That's a scary topic right there.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever going to be the same as it was. I think that I think this whole movement that's going on is a great movement, because people should be outing these terrible people, but at the same time, it's everything is just going to be completely different. It's the happy-go-lucky going to a show. I think those days are over. Personally, for me, I don't think that there, as far as COVID goes and the crowd goes, we all don't know how that's going to correlate quite yet. But let's just hope that goes at least somewhat back to normal. But I think like how men treat women and women treat men, that's never going to be the same again. Because everyone's afraid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Crazy times, man. Crazy times. It's when Nick brought this up to me, and like even with the things you were just saying about it, it's kind of just a crazy thing, because it's almost like you have to like kind of almost be a babysitter. Like you gotta like watch out for fans and protect your fans and stuff like that.
Right. It's important. I mean that should be a given. And it's crazy, because I've always seen a lot of friends that I've grown up in the scene getting in a lot of trouble for the weirdest shit I've ever seen. Dude, it's like one day you'll hear, oh, he's been grooming a 16-year-old, and another day you're like, he's having conversations with this or that. I'm just like, what the fuck? the whole idea of being you want to live that rock star lifestyle? There's plenty of 18-year-old plus women that you can reach out to and correlate with to do that. So why are you having this awkward power trip to go to these younger women? And I've never understood that, man. It's kind of it doesn't correlate to anything that I believe in. So on the note that you said, I'm always weary of watching for fans, especially ones that I talk to online, younger fans that I'm always watching. And that's another reason why I have a woman merch manager, because she also watches out, and a woman tour master, because she also watches out. I'm always making sure everyone's comfortable, at least at my merch booth and when we're playing. So yeah, that's important.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else, Nick? Are you going to hang out, or?
I was just really shocked by the fact that they had. You know what? I'm at a capybara rescue right now with my daughter. She was like her lifelong dream to one and play with one. So we drove like 2 hours to get her to play with these largest rodents in the world.
That's amazing.
So
I
I'm
just
gonna
watched
head
the whole
inside.
YouTube thing
But
on
thank you
that,
very
man.
much for
I'm down the YouTube
answering
hole.
my
Those
questions.
capybaras. Those are crazy, like big hamsters, right?
I don't think he heard. I don't think he heard you.
They're like big hamsters, right?
All right, guys, I'm gonna cut in and out. So thank you guys.
All right, Nick. So, all right, I gotta ask, what are you drinking, my friend?
Old fashioned.
Well, I'm having a glass of wine to you. Cheers.
Oh, well, appreciate that. Well, cheers, brother. It's just, these old fashions have become like my staple point now, man. I just there's something about bullet bourbon, and there's something relaxing about having this drink. And to be honest, I'm medicating a lot with this. Like, I don't know about you, but I've been having surreal dreams. When I wake up in the morning, my breathing is different. I feel the universe is fucked up. I feel like, do you feel off?
You know what? Like, I feel the universe is off, but I feel like I'm on. I feel pretty freaking good. I just feel everything around me is just a complete thing of chaos.
Right. Well, hey, that's great, man. And maybe your energy will rub off on me because I've been fucking off. I've been off.
Well, I don't think even too off because you got new music coming out, you got the new single out, a new record label. Which let's talk about that. What happened there? The first album was on Victory Records. Were you guys just the one deal with them, or were you guys searching for another label? Or
well, what ended up happening? So in the middle of our European tour with POD, right at the ending, Concord bought Victory Records.
Okay.
So we were just like, oh shit, because we were already doing demos for a long time. We were in the middle of trying to figure that out. And when Concord bought Victory, we were just like, okay, where do we sit in this process?
Right.
And it turns out, so what Concord did is they bought Victory's catalog, they bought all that goodness, and then they didn't want anything to do with active bands. They didn't want anything to do with it. So they just literally dropped every Victory band they had. And they claimed they shopped it around, like, oh, we wanted to shop it here, we wanted to shop it there. But, we were, I was in constant contact with Tony on this, asking, Tony from Victory. And I was like, what's going on? And he was telling me, don't worry about it. And it'll all work its way out. And so what ended up happening for us is that, we started getting antsy. And we didn't really know what was going on. And the acquisition took a lot longer than we expected. So we ended up putting out This Is War DIY.
Okay.
We did it with In Grooves Universal just for the distro. And we were sitting on it. And then it's funny because I was like, okay, I appreciate doing this myself. A lot of people do it themselves nowadays. I'm sure you experience a lot of that combo.
Sure.
And it's not as easy as people think. It's it's fucking hard. And it's not that it's hard as like, oh, well, I can make like I have a vision board I look at every day, right? It's not hard to make a vision board and go, okay, well, I'm going to do this, that, this, and this, and that. It's monetarily hard. It's connection-wise hard. Connecting the dots is probably one of the hardest things I've experienced in music. And, you need an experienced crew.
Sure.
Unless you want to hire them on. And let me tell you, man, hiring on a publicist is like $3-4 grand a month. Hiring on the right team, you're talking at the end of the time that end of the rollout here, you're at least $30,000 to $40,000 into a rollout, and you're like, how the fuck am I going to recoup this?
Right.
So I talked to my manager, and we were like, let's find a record label that suits us. And before I had the chance to do that, I'm eating tacos and drinking margaritas, man. And I get a phone call, and this really fucking happened. I get a phone call, and I was like, oh shit, who's that? It's Chicago. And I answered it, and he's like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, who's this? He's like, the world needs rock and roll right now. I'm like, who is this? He's like, Tony Brummel. I'm like, oh shit. And we talked for about 2 weeks, honestly, like almost every day. And we caught up, and I decided that it was the right move to, sign with Mission 2 because it's the same team that was pushing us to victory. It's the same group of people that know who I am, know what I'm trying to achieve. So
right.
They gave us a great fucking deal. And Tony, and I know Tony gets so much heat from his past, But for me, he's been an amazing person, a great kind of confidant to talk to. And he gave us a great deal and something that, I haven't seen in a while, somebody having faith. And, I don't know if who you talked to in the recently, but having faith in the music industry, holy shit, is that a thing still? It is for Tony. And that's the reason why I signed with them. That's the reason.
Now, how about, say if Tony didn't come along, do you think you would have went that route and, put all that money out to do it? Or would you have just kept waiting until you found another label possibly?
Well, I initially started the process of putting the money into it. So when I put out War, I got my homeboy, Scott Henson. He's been working with me since 2009. He's done a lot of great videos for me. And, we recruited a couple people, a team for radio and yada, yada, all that good stuff. And by the end of the time of me doing that, man, I was knee deep in it, man. Like,
sure.
I'm talking, I'm like Scrooge McDuck, bro. Like I'm like, holy shit, is there an ending to this? And I was on route doing that. And the idea is fucking wonderful because you're like, oh, well, I'll put it out on my label. I'll get distribution. That's what's in today. But then you watch the movie Artifact, from 30 Seconds to Mars, and he's going through this whole lawsuit. And at the end of the fucking whole thing, he goes, without the machine, there is no band. And it's like, yeah, because you need the people that believe in you behind you to push your band. You can't, there's so much you have to do yourself to do it.
Yeah.
And that's my personal opinion on it. So we were going to shop 100%, and we just didn't start because Tony came in, and I was like, well, I already trust this guy, and he believes in me, and I believe in him. So that's what happened.
Wow. That's awesome. But you know what? He's absolutely right. The world does need rock and roll. And I want to see if you agree with this. I've said this 2 or 3 times in the last few weeks to my girlfriend. She's just a complete music fan like myself. We listen to everything, rock, metal, pop, hip hop, whatever. And then you have a song like the new Cardi B song that comes out a week or 2 ago, WAP, wet ass pussies or whatever, you have. And as soon as that came out, I said to myself, this is where hip hop and rap is like so dominating in the music industry now because they are dangerous. That's got the danger that rock and roll used to have. And like rock and roll is not allowed to be dangerous now.
That is exactly right. And you know what? That's a beautiful way you said it too, man. It's rock and roll is supposed to be dangerous. And to be honest, man, I lost sight of that for at least 2 years. I've always been the same person, but even myself has allowed myself to introduce myself. I've lost myself in the past. So it took hip hop, it took this emo rap revolution. It took a lot of things for me to go, oh shit, man.
Right.
You are who you are, and and that's funny you brought this WAP shit up because it's a topic on my Facebook. Like all my kind of peers that are touring peers are just slamming into it, man. They're oh, this is bullshit. There's no substance. What the fuck am I watching? And I'm right here on the motorcycle right behind them going, this is the trashiest shit I've ever seen. But it's the most genius shit I've ever seen.
Right.
It's genius. It's fucking genius. Because you know what, man? Manson's not removing any ribs right now and sucking his own dick. They need something. So what is it they need? They need imagery. Yeah. And Cardi B, and I don't know why everyone's so fucking surprised, because Cardi B, her whole thing is imagery. Yeah. Absolutely. So what? She had Kylie Jenner in it. I mean, what'd you fucking expect? Everyone's like, oh man, that's fucked up. Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Sell records, do your thing. Like, if they asked me, yo, do you like this music? I would be like, absolutely fucking not. But let me have about 5 of these and then ask me then. Then you're yeah. After that, I'm just like, yeah. And it's fucking great. So, teach their own. Now
let me spin this to the next step, where I remember our last interview we did, last year at some point. A big conversation we had was all about the world of social media, and your big focus at that point was Instagram, and it was, you're very vocal on Instagram and use it, and it was just like your big main platform. fast forward now to modern day, and the big thing is TikTok. And
Right.
I'll even flip it in with that whole Cardi B thing, because as you scroll through TikTok, you hear that freaking song over and over and over and over and over. Are you a fan of TikTok? Are you on TikTok?
I'm there, but I've had a hard time, man. It's like I want to compare TikTok to this. It's like, do you remember Dance Dance Revolution?
Yeah.
Dance. Okay, that became a fucking thing. For me, I never got on the machine. You know, I was still playing Mortal Kombat, so I didn't get on that level of being able to, you know. My girl does it a lot. She gets a lot of likes on her stuff, and she kills it. But I just can't seem to grasp the cheesiness of it, you know. But I'm not putting it down, because any platform at all that spreads music at this point, that's not Spotify, that's literally, you know, at your throat, I'm all for. And don't forget, you're not getting paid. And this is a big publishing label thing too, because it's not something that a lot of people like, especially when we were releasing our single with In Grooves. We were like, hey, so where the fuck is This Is War? Is it not on TikTok? Because I wanted to let everyone know. And they're like, oh, we don't tell our artists that unless they ask. And I was like, no. And then it occurred to me, a manager was telling me, it's like, oh, because there's no monetary compensation for playing your song on that.
Oh.
Yeah. So you're not making the money on TikTok. You're making it from everyone hearing it and then going to find it.
Gotcha.
So, conflict of interest.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Interesting. It's interesting.
It is. It's especially when you're hearing, like, I interviewed a guy a couple months ago, a month and a half ago, who he's just a one-man acoustic dude, and like his song had 100 spins on TikTok, or no, I mean 1 million spins on TikTok.
Wow.
And it's like, wow, yeah, like, but yeah, where does that lead to? Like, you know, on Spotify, he's nowhere near 1 million, but on TikTok, he's there.
Right. You know, and it's funny, man. I call it it's like a link thing. So it's like, yeah, you post a link on your socials. You're like, hey, everyone, you know, like us, we're going live.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Everyone's like, cool, you know. But how many people out of, like, say, my 100,000 followers, whatever, on Instagram are going to go click? You know what I mean? Right. It's kind of interesting, people's interaction, and I think a lot of that now has to do with the amount of imagery you purvey and the amount of party you purvey, and what is going on if I click this?
Yeah.
How am I involved? And that's why I'm thinking, you know, TikTok is here and there. Like, if you have a strong image-based fan base and they're very interactive to begin with, and you go on TikTok and it goes viral, it's just going to boost you that much more.
Yeah.
But if you're a no name, I don't know. I mean, I guess it would just be Yahtzee at the end of the day.
Well, all right. So let's now tackle Spotify, because I saw, you know, 2 of your singles from the Alchemy album has reached that 1 million stream point for both of them.
Yeah.
And I interviewed a guy who was a band. He was in the band called TKO. It was pretty big in the early 80s from Seattle. He's just put some new music out, and he did a song with Mike McCready from Pearl Jam a couple of years ago.
Oh, cool.
And it got 1 million streams on Spotify. And he said to me, he's like, dude, he goes, you know, I saw that. I was like, holy shit, 1 million streams. I can buy a new car. And then he said he opened up his ASCAP or something, and he got $22.
Well, fuck. So, all right. So, what's the question on that? Because I can answer that. What do you
Did you get your $22? Is it really that bad?
Well, look. So it's if you're on a record label and you have a split with your label,
right?
You'll know the amount of percentage that's coming in from both, you know, your mechanical royalties, which is, you know, your main base of funds that are coming in, and then everything else. You know what I'm saying? So I think more or less, I would say this: if you're a free agent and you have 1 million plays on Spotify, you will get $4,000, maybe around $33,900, something like that. That will be yours. That's if you didn't buy any of your shit. Like, you'll get around $4,000.
Okay.
4 million streams. Now, if you're on a record label and that's split and you get 13% of that, that's what that is. Now,
Gotcha.
that'll be, more of your mechanical royalties on things. So, I mean, there's so many different things that come into play. But ASCAP will be like, okay, well, how many times, or BMI, whatever you're with, how many times was I played on the radio? How many times was I played in a bar? How many times did somebody use my rights? So
Right.
if you're getting $22 in ASCAP, that just means that you're really not connecting on that radio world and on that.
Yeah.
You go into a gym and all of a sudden you're watching a screen. It's like, some band, you're like, oh shit, they get something from that. But that, that's why a lot of the major record labels make a ton of money, because they sign a publishing deal and a regular record deal, because they know they'll front you a ton of publishing money, because they know they'll get you Nike. They know they'll get you Gatorade.
Right.
They know they're going to get you these things, and they're going to make their money back 10 times full and recoup, which amazing,
Sure.
If I was in a Nike commercial, I mean, fuck yeah. But that's how that works. So if you're like an indie label and you're not getting trailers, you're not getting a big radio play. I mean, like Linkin Park, I heard some astronomical number they make a month on ASCAP.
Wow.
Because it's fucking Linkin Park.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Sure.
You can't expect a new band to go onto ASCAP and be like, oh, well, I just made $22,000 this month. It's just not going to happen unless you're a SoundCloud rapper. You've been blowing up on SoundCloud for a while, and all of a sudden you go onto a streaming thing, and all of a sudden everyone wants to use your music for notoriety. Again,
Right.
another industry thing. Just my point on it. Yeah.
This is where I remember like talking to you last time too. I love talking with you, and there's a lot of, well, not a lot, but there's certain people I do these interviews with who I really enjoy talking with, because you will be open and honest, and you'll give, you also show you have the smarts to the business. It's not just, I'm a rock star and I get up there and I rock out and I have great tunes. You have the smarts behind it, and you share, and it's like, hey, just like you were saying about, the choice to go independent or go with a label, there's a
Right.
whole music business behind it, and the business.
No, yeah, man. They say you fail enough times, you get very intelligent. It's like,
Right.
it's a war of attrition. That's something that Tony said that I love that he said. It's just it's a war of attrition. It's like a lot of bands go, oh, well, I'll post once a week, and that'll be that. It's like that's not how it's gonna go.
No.
You got to constantly be talking to people and constantly be giving content and letting people know what you're doing. And we're all guilty of falling prey to the world around you and not being able to do that. But the moment that you do, you start feeling better about yourself, and you start connecting with a lot more people. So it's important.
Absolutely. So the new single, "This Is War," it's out there now. Tell us about it. Who's the war against? Is it the war against the craziness of the world? Is it a war against COVID? Who's the war against?
Well, I always write about my past relationships, and that song is not different. But we had the joy. I'm going to say joy because that's the only way I can put it. Re-recording songs 4,000 times. This Is War was mixed and mastered by Chris Crummett first, who did a lot of great bands like Dance Gavin Dance and stuff like that. He's a great producer. But we sent it to a couple of radio people, and the radio people were like, this sounds too like this. And I was like, all right, well, what should it sound like? They're like, more like this, sonically. And we're not even talking about structure. We're just talking about fucking sonically.
Wow.
And I'm like, all right. And then so a radio guy introduced me to a really cool guy named Malcolm Springer. And he did a lot of Fear Factory stuff in Matchbox 20 back in the day. Great guy. Southern guy from Nashville. And we actually drove to Nashville right before the pandemic fucking really hit. We were in the middle of it, but we weren't. And when Trump came on there and said, the crazy shit that happened. So we were there, and I remember talking to my band. I was like, yo, this correlates to way more than my fucking life. This correlates to this virus. This correlates to just surviving at this point. And that's when I hit Scott Henson up, and I was like, we got to do a video that's theoretically about this.
Right.
And it's like, oh man, totally. And the thing is with videographers and how that goes down is they have great ideas, but they're all super fucking expensive. You know what I mean? Like
it's easy for them to spend your money.
Yeah, Josh great, man. He knows all these great actors, and he's like this, that, and this, and I'm like, well, I'm DIY right now, dude. So what I need you to do is make these two women COVID, and we're the life, and correlate that, man. And he did a great job doing that. So yeah, it's about one of my past relationships, and then as we were redoing the song, it took on another meaning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, did you just record that song alone, or I noticed there's going to be an album coming out later this year? Is the whole album done, or are you still working on it? Or
so we recorded 14 songs
okay.
before Victory got acquired.
Okay.
I had Chris Crummett mix 11 of those songs, and then another 5 got remixed by Malcolm Springer.
Okay.
And now another 2 are being mixed by Nick Sampson. And they're all actually going to be mastered by Andy Van Dett. And I love him because he mixed David Bowie, so that's just in my wheelhouse.
There you go. Yeah.
We got about 12 songs now.
Cool. And it's going to be called Doves and Glass Houses.
Yes.
I love that title.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you. You know what's funny you say that? Because the person, my girl's right. So I was going to the refrigerator to get some orange juice, and she said something to me like, Doves and, she's from Scotland, so sometimes miscommunication happens. And she said a quote to me. She's like, Doves in some houses. I was like, oh, Doves in glass houses. That's exactly who I am. She's like, that's not what I said. I'm like, that's what you mean. You know what I mean? So that ended up sticking pretty good. And I think the world we live in right now is Doves in glass houses.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no other way to. I mean, whether you're a musician or a lawyer or the guy who works at Trader Joe's. I mean, at the end of the day, man, we're all trying to figure out where the fuck, what's break through.
Yep, absolutely.
And, not to go into a weird tangent, but, I was taking a shower today and I'm codependent. So I was having my girl stand there while I was taking it. And I'm like, hey, do you feel weird? And she's like, yeah, it's the Earth's gravitational pull because the veil is being pulled up. And we're all starting to see what the world really is. And either I'm insane or I have some weird thing going on with me physically, or the veil's coming up. So I'm going to go with the veil's coming up, man.
Absolutely. That's the story, and he's sticking to it.
Yes, exactly.
So how about the album itself? I heard you actually did a Facebook Live the other day, and you said like the new album's a darker sounding album than the first one.
Well, I'm happy we're on Facebook Live because I've had a lot of problems with it trying to get on and do it. So this is really cool. I'm going to talk later with you about how cool you just did this.
Cool.
But yeah, it's darker. I think it's not darker in a way that my other band was. It's darker in a way like not cheesy. So I'm still rock and roll. I wanted that organic rock and roll element. Then I added a lot of synth. And then it's just everything I do kind of comes off dark. I don't really have to try very hard. Even if we record in standard tuning, for some fucking reason, I can't be Bon Jovi. It's always just, like more of a weird vibration and a lower vibration. So it's not that I try, but it just comes out like that.
It's Living on a Prayer, a little darker.
Well, dude, it's like if me and you try to sing Living on a Prayer, it's just like, it's just not fucking Bon Jovi, man. It's just very, he has that, I don't know. He can wear blue jeans and a pink shirt, and it's just still rock and roll for Bon Jovi. But for me, I just can't fucking do it. Everything just ends up being like, I don't know, about poison and whatever. It's fucking weird.
So how about the band lineup? Is it a band lineup set in stone? That was something we talked about again last time too, was you kind of had like a rotating cast due to tours and stuff like that?
Right. That's still the same, except I got some true believers with me. I got Craig. I call him Little Thor. He looks like a version of Thor, just more compact. And a beautiful guy. And I want to say the best guitar player that I've ever met.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that. I've had some good ones, and I've seen some good ones. But if you go research this guy, you see him at 13 playing Van Halen at 13.
Oh, shit.
And playing concertos on piano just because. And he has the thing, man. He's like nonchalant. He's like, all right, man. So I'll just play this concerto, and then he'll have a drink. He's like, hey, cool. Yeah, it's like fuck, man. You know, it's like I'm sitting here trying to learn how to sing vocals, but you're just doing fucking Beethoven at 13. Absolutely great, brilliant guitar player. He did everything basically on the record except for I think 4 songs.
Okay.
And then I have my drummer Zach, who's from Vegas. And by the way, I'm moving to Vegas soon because I got to get out of fucking Cali.
Yeah. What are you still doing in Cali? What are you still doing in Cali? What are you still doing in Cali?
Come on. It's you know, there's just it's a feeling. You know, I was trying to explain it to the girl. It's like, it's like we're gonna move to Vegas because we need more room and we need a fucking change. But there's so much pizzazz here. It makes you want, you know, and try harder. So we'll see how suburbia does for me. But I mean, Cali has that vibe. You know, I've been here for 15 years, so
Wow.
tell me. Yeah.
Very nice. So the album, there's no set date on there yet, release date?
No, not yet. We're trying to figure that out. To be honest, we're still being mixed at this point. I don't, you know, for me, I feel like the album will never be done. Just because it's been over a year. But it seems like we're closing out the final stretch, and everything's sent over to the guy who's mixing it, Nick over there, and Andy will be getting the stuff to master it. And then if the label approves, we'll have a date. And to be honest, man, I'm not sure when that will be. I assume it'll be in 2020 though, for sure. So
how about so we touched on it very in the beginning, the live show situation.
Yeah.
So everything's, you know, I guess off until 2021. And you said it's going to be different. It's going to be a different ball game.
Yeah.
Do you think? Do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's just? Is it going to be bad? I mean, seriously, what's your gut feeling? Is it going to be a weird situation? Is it going to be tough?
I think this is going to, unfortunately, I think this is going to come down to politics.
Okay.
Right now, the reason we're feeling, well, let's be clear. We know the disease isn't a hoax.
Right.
We know it's killed a lot of people. We know it's real. We also still know there's a 98% chance of recovery.
Right.
But there's the politics behind it now. So
sure.
So they're at each other's throats right now. So if Trump gets elected, I think this virus will have more of a life than it would have had if Biden gets elected.
Gotcha.
Just my personal thing here. The vaccine, okay, they're going to give everyone the vaccine that needs it first. Now, politics-wise, if the Trump administration gives the vaccine first, I think the Democrats are going to find holes in it.
Of course.
Well, it doesn't cure everything. You still need to wear your mask. So I think it's going to be about the duration between the vaccine and them administering it to people and who gets elected and yada yada. So I mean, if I had to gamble, I would say, and I'm gambling because we have a rescheduled dates as well. I'm gambling the end of 2021.
Ooh.
That's what I'm gambling on that. And
wow.
If you want some inside information, all agents are as well.
Yeah, you actually, I interviewed Steve Brown, guitar player from Trickster, about a month and a half ago, and he said, "Don't expect live shows until 2022." He said, "I'm just going to be straight up and honest with you. Don't expect them until 2022."
Right. It's a lot of speculation and a lot of hearsay, but I don't want to say his name wrong. Michael Rapino. It might be something Rapino from guy who owns Live Nation.
Yeah.
If you heard his original jargon was nothing till it's 2022, and then all of a sudden he pops on about 2 weeks ago and he's like 2021 into 2021, and now he's talking festivals because Live Nation's real money comes from festivals, but I personally think live shows will be back by the end of 2021. Now that's if everything goes correctly and the vaccine works. And dude, there's just so much speculation here. I mean, I personally can't see another year going like this. I feel like something's going to happen. There'll be a therapeutic, or there'll be something, and live shows will start. But I don't think it's going to be a capacity of Coachella or Epicenter. I don't think those are going to come back until the summertime.
Well, how about like club shows and stuff like that? You think that's going to start happening, or?
My agent in the UK thinks so. So he thinks that at a certain capacity, it'll be able to happen.
Right.
And luckily for us, we've been to the UK and EU a lot, but we're not drawing 1,000 people there yet. So we still have a club draw. So for us, it could be lucrative around. I mean, we're trying to get back out there in May of 2021.
Okay.
And that'll be announced soon enough. But I mean, that's what they're thinking. And a lot of agents and a lot of people are saying, oh, well, we're going to push it to 2022. This way there's no problems. But I think everyone that's done that is going to kind of miss out if something does happen in 21. So
right. Exactly. So what you, a person like yourself who, let's face it, all bands these days, especially rock bands, depend on live shows and getting out there and selling their merch to survive. So what the hell are you doing to survive?
Well, luckily for me, I got into other aspects of life, and that's been supporting me for a long time. And unfortunately, a lot has to do with the NASDAQ and the stock market.
Gotcha.
And that's where I've been for a long time. That's been the lifeblood of keeping me alive. I've had a lot of ups and downs in the music industry, and I've lost a shit ton of money doing a lot of crazy things. So that's been the only stable.
Right.
So I'm luckily for me, I don't have to go be a barista at Starbucks. And if you know anything about my coffee shit, that's probably not a good idea anyway. But yeah, I'm able to survive, and I'm able to have some sort of lifestyle doing what I love to do. So I don't want to say blessed, man, but blessed be for that good shit. But I've seen a lot of people struggling. I see a lot of people jumping on Twitch. I see a lot of people trying to do lessons and this and that. But if it wasn't working before, it's not going to work now.
Yeah.
And you see other people like, Ronnie Ragni, for instance, killing it on Twitch. Well, of course he's killing it on Twitch. He has a fucking ginormous fucking fan base.
Sure.
And he has great interaction. He's always had it. But if you have someone like me that goes, hey, everyone, I'm on Twitch, you're going to be like, cool. Do you play video games? I'm like, no. So what the fuck am I going to do on there? Let's be clear. I'm like, hey, everyone, it's me. So I'm having drinks and I'm listening to some vinyl. Give me money. How about you guys give me money? And I'm just like, I'd rather give something to OnlyFans, that hot girl I saw on Twitter. So I'm a little weird on it. It's not like I won't do Twitch or any of that shit. I'm a person for a right moment. I don't beg fans. I don't do that kind of shit. I like everything to be as organic as humanly possible.
Well, how about, again, going back to, a lot of bands have been doing the whole live stream with the tip jar open.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I think, and this is interesting. So it's like, okay, if you're going to have 2,000 or 3,000 people tune in to your live stream. Now, let's be clear. How many bands actually draw 300-400 people in every city? How many bands actually fucking do that? I would say 1%.
Right.
Maybe less. So you're going to go on a live stream, open your fucking tip jar, and you expect, your 20 diehards to jump on there and give you about $2,000. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like I shouldn't be doing that to my fans. I don't know if I'm at the level stream-wise for me to go on there and go, okay, how's everyone doing? You want to see me play live? What's up, 50 dedicateds? How you doing?
Right.
It's gonna be $25 for you to be here. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I think someone like an Ozzy Osbourne, a Post Malone,
a
little Uzi Vert, even a Falling in Reverse, Emotional White, yeah, I feel like they can pull that off. But I feel like for someone like me, it just needs to be strategic. And I want to make sure that everyone sees it. And I want to respect my fans. It's important to me. I don't want to do something at a low key level that doesn't correlate with them. I want the high levels. I want the high vibrations. So the right time, the right call for that.
Yeah. I have noticed too, like, once the whole, the pandemic started, a lot of the bands that were starting to do that, they did it, Facebook, and they had the tip jar out there. And I've noticed over the last month or two, a lot of those same bands that are still doing it now, they're not doing it that way. Now it's you got to pay in advance to do it, to watch. Yeah.
Right. Well, you mean, when you're, and I don't blame them for doing it. It's
yeah, I don't either.
It's not for me. But if you're starving and you need that extra $150, for the live stream, and you're splitting it 4 ways, and you need that you need that TGI Fridays dinner.
Right.
I mean, fuck yeah. You need to pay rent. I mean, honestly, whatever you need to do to be happy, do it. But I just don't believe in it, man. It's fucking me up. And it's not like, all right, if I'm going to go to, like, no one's really cool. I'm friends with Dryden and the Alien Ant Farm guys. Great fucking people.
Okay.
And they did something at the Whiskey.
Okay.
And then I don't know what they did as far as money for fans, but that's a show.
Yeah.
That's a fucking show. Okay, you went to the Whiskey. You want to see Alien Ant Farm with the Whiskey. Here you go.
Yeah.
This is the admission for a ticket. It's like $5-10, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you can watch us play. I get that.
Sure. Absolutely.
And I get what Suicide Silence did, doing a world tour of every, fucking cool. But for as far as me going on every week with a tip jar, going, hey man, give me your money to see me play. I just can't do that. That's not point.
Yeah, I think like once in a while it was cool, but there were some bands, and I'm not going to mention names, but they're out there every freaking week doing it. It's like you're kind of beating a dead horse now.
Well, it's like being addicted to anything. We're all, and I'm going to say it, man. I'm addicted to the stage. I'm addicted to people commenting. I'm addicted to look at me. I mean, I look like a fucking carnival character, but I want people. I'm like, pay attention to me, right? So it's like when singers and bands aren't getting that attention, they're like, the fuck do I do with myself?
Right.
So like, oh, people tuned. So they'll probably do their first stream, and they're like, oh, people tuned in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again, and then I'm gonna do it again, and then it just becomes like, hey, every week I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And during the pandemic, like the mid of it, I was doing that every Saturday on Instagram. I'm like, oh,
okay.
I'm like, in this bullshit, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start a community here, and everyone's gonna come. But it's like, that's not what fucking happened.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you had your diehards that were there, and I made their day. And at the end of the day, I love making their day. But as far as a business model, that's not a win.
Yeah. But on the flip side of it, on the positive side of it, and we mentioned this, I think it's also going to become the future for live entertainment, for bands, comedians, etc., where I think it's going to be an amazing, great tool to, like you said, what bands or people are actually drawing 300-400 people a night. This is now a way to go out there and actually get the 3,000-4,000 possibly at one shot worldwide at one boom.
Sure. It's interesting because I have a lot of favorite bands that stream now, and I'm not on them. And where would I catch them? Probably on YouTube. I'm a realist, so it's like, all right, well, you stream, cool. Somebody videoed that. All right, then that'll be on YouTube. So I'm gonna go check that out there. Maybe when I'm bored and I'm having an old fashioned, I'll go on there and I'll check you out. It's not the same experience as getting your ticket, showing up to the show, having like-minded people around you. Because at the end of the day, going to a show is a community. Everyone
absolutely
is going there. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And it's like we don't get the opportunity to do that through a fucking computer, bro. And I think that's what the government's figuring out now through distance learning. It's just like, it's just not the fucking same.
Yeah.
If you want to see me play a fucking, let's be clear, what's the difference between me live streaming and me making a music video for you?
Exactly.
What's the fucking difference?
Exactly.
I'll tell you the difference. I sound better on a music video. And at the end of the fucking day, that's, well, maybe not, throwing myself short, but that's, I don't see anyone doing different. I don't see Cardi B getting online and going, all right, live stream event.
Right.
Here we go. Here's my money box.
Yeah.
I'll make a quick $1 million off there. No, she just makes WAP and makes the most streams ever on fucking YouTube, or you're 6'9" and you snitched on all your friends, and all of a sudden you have the #1 thing on you. I mean, if these people they have the right business model of how they're doing it, and that's very, very important. And even though I want to reach everybody, and you will see me on a live stream doing this, and probably will be at a venue, it's because I want everyone to hear these songs, and this is the only way I know how to do it. But I don't know if I'm going to charge them to do it.
Cool.
I don't see that happening. I see that being, it's like, dude, it's like, you remember Napster? Everyone bitching about Napster.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, okay, well, if you want to hear a song, most people are just stealing that motherfucker. Mm-hmm. So how many people will I reach if I charge, and how many people will I reach if I don't?
Yeah. You'll reach more. Definitely.
I'll reach a lot more. Yeah. It's important.
Yeah.
And if, as a musician, my job is to make, and everyone, I think people lose track of that. As a musician, my job is to make you happy. Mm-hmm. I'm here to entertain you. I'm here to be some sort of voice in the darkness of this turmoil. And then here I am going, well, in order to see me, live stream, you're going to have to pay me a lot of fucking money. It's like, dude, no, right now is the time for all of us musicians to come together and go, here's some hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my
true.
point.
It's true. Wow. So another thing, you guys, which I saw, you have a whole new line of merchandise. You got the mask going. You got fuck COVID shirts.
Yeah, man. It's so when we signed with Mission 2, they run our merchandise, and a lot of bands. And this is an interesting topic. A lot of bands are like, "Oh man, don't do a 360 deal. Don't give merchandise. Don't do that. It's your livelihood. It's, no, because Mission 2 has been, the Victory, the model they had before and the model they have now is amazing, because I get to coordinate with their graphic artist, and me and him make 1 million designs. Like, we're completely on making 1 million designs, and if the 1 million designs sell, we're all benefiting. So it's important, because when you're on a DIY level, you're at the mercy of, let's say you go with a Merch Now, or you go one of these companies, you're still at the fucking mercy of these people.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that. It's like, you're not DIY being with a Merch Now and an indie merch and all that shit. You're still at the mercy of the man. And that's reality. So it's like, people are like, oh, you gave up your merch. I didn't give up my merch. I actually decided to sign with another merch company that decided to actually work for me. And I'll tell you what, man, it's been genius. And I'll come up with some fucked up shit, like the thing we posted today, the picture you posted to me today. I made a shirt out of that.
Oh, because, cool.
I sent it to Brandon over there at Mission 2. I'm like, what do you think about a Dr. Dre version of this? He's like, absolutely. And instead of him worrying about being paid from this or that, he's part of the label. He's part of the belief, the faith.
Right.
So he creates it knowing that it will benefit everybody. And that's been fantastic. It's been fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been really cool. So yeah, we have a merch line that's out now with our Death logo. And then I have about 15 items right now sitting in backstock that'll be released upon our release of our record. So
cool.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys have another single planned for the near future, or you're not even sure of that yet?
Not sure of that yet. It's awkward because I'm a ballad guy. I'm weird when it comes to that. It's like, even if it's hard, I end up doing a halftime chorus because it's like Bon Jovi. It's like I can't get into the 80s vibe, bro. But I know Tony. Everyone's like, hey man, let's do some balls to the wall shit here to put on this, and I'm like, oh, I got some ideas. So I ended up recording stuff with Craig, who I mentioned, Little Thor. And that's what's being mixed now, 2 other songs. And
nice.
I think those are actually my favorite songs. So
cool.
I don't know what's going to happen. And radio has their own thing. And the fans have their own thing. And then if I want to trend what's happening now, I have that. So I'm not sure where the fuck we're gonna land for the next single, but I will assure you it will be good. At least it's been a year, so it has to be at least good. So I can assure you that.
And it won't be a cover of WAP from Cardi B.
You know what? It won't be that. It won't be that. You know what? It would be an easy cover to do. What is the song? 2 minutes?
Hey, could be 2 minutes too long.
Hey, man, if we're not repeating choruses and we're just doing one chorus and all of a sudden there's a lot of imagery, I mean, it makes life easier for rock musicians. That's for sure. What's interesting is I actually sent it to my manager last night. I was like, oh, man, look, Trippie Redd. You know Trippie Redd? Ever heard of him?
No.
All right. He's a hip-hop artist. He's really eclectic. He has red hair. He has a lot of – he's cool, man, imagery-wise. And he's like, oh, I'm making a rock record. Okay. MGK, pop-punk record. My homeboy Travis Mills that I've known forever in the scene, pop-punk record.
Mm-hmm.
All these people, regardless of genre or color or whatever, are mixing genre, and it's fan-fucking-tastic. And you know what? A lot of people are going, oh, man, it's not rock and roll. It's not what it used to be. But no, these public figures that have the platform right now are literally saving rock and roll. Yeah. They are. And
it's great for rock and roll. Yeah, it totally is. It's like the whole, Post Malone, a couple songs he did with Ozzy. I mean, amazing freaking songs. Like I honestly, and I'll be the first to admit, like I probably wouldn't give Post Malone the time of day, just because he rubbed me wrong. People with face tattoos rub me wrong. I don't know. They just rub me wrong. No, I mean, come on. When you're down here like that, it rubs. It's me. It's the old guy in me. It just rubs me a little wrong.
Oh, good, man.
So, like when I wouldn't give Post Malone the time of day. Although when I saw him do the tribute to Elvis, I was like, whoa, all right, there's something going on here. And then I heard the tune with Ozzy. I was like, oh shit, I'm in. Like I get it now. I totally get that, dude. And then he did that live stream where he did a whole set of Nirvana songs, and I was like, with Travis Barker, and I was like, this fucking dude's got it going on.
It's interesting because, like we talked about failure, and failure is the number one precursor of success. Like it's a platform success, it's a catapult, if you will. Because once you fail, you want to succeed. Yeah. And it's a revenge thing. It's a feeling. It's a fire. And the craziest fucking people. I mean, like Jim Morrison and Janis Joplin and Kurt Cobain. These people weren't right. They weren't right.
Nah.
And that's part of Manson. Even it's these people that are just so off. And when you get rejected in that kind of state of mind, you're like, no. I will figure this shit out. And what's interesting about Post Malone is that he got rejected from Crown the Empire, which was a fucking scene band. They're still a scene band. That he wanted to be the singer of that band. And they're like, no, we're good. Rejected this man. So he was into this pop punk, into this post-hardcore, into this metalcore, Warped Tour type shit.
Okay.
So long. And then he makes White Iverson. Congratulations. Based upon him, his failure with not getting what he wanted first. Right. And now every one of these people are looking back going, holy shit. Yeah. Holy shit. And now I want to ascend him to almost an idol. Yeah. He's idol now. Like, would we crown him king of emo rap? I think we might. But it's interesting and very respectful to take someone like him and look at his grassroots and go, okay, you've been through the ringer, my friend. You've been sleeping on couches. You gave it your all. And all of a sudden you hit it on SoundCloud with some shit. And now you're at this spot. And I have total respect for that. And he's got hooks. Totally. And the reason he's got hooks for days is because he was rock to start with. And you know what? I don't want to be biased, but I'm going to say he got them rock hooks. End of the day. Truth. Absolute truth. Rock hooks. Rock hooks. It's all about the rock hooks. Just ask Bon Jovi. I wish I could, man. And you know what? I've hit up a lot of people to collab. I haven't hit him up. But fuck, man. I don't know. I might have to sell the family farm to get him on a song. But I don't know. I might do that to get him. Imagine having Bon Jovi on your song. Right. what the fuck? I know my girl's mother would trip out.
Maybe a couple old fashions with John Bon Jovi. You never know what could happen.
Oh, bro, let me tell you, I was coming from a show at the Whiskey, and I went to an after party at this place called Davy Wayne's over here in Hollywood. It's a staple. They have live bands, and they have an outside with snow cone drinks. It's pretty cool. I'm there with someone I know, and someone I know says to me, "Yo, do you want to go to a house party?" I was like, "Well, fuck yeah," because I'm already getting hammered. Let's take it next level. And so we're headed there, and I was like, "Who the fuck's house is this?" Because it's in suburbia, and it's all gated off. And I'm like, all right. And I get it. This person wouldn't tell me. So I get in there. She's like, "I just want to let you know before you freak out, we're in Kiefer Sutherland's house." I'm like, get the fuck out. and I was vampired out. If you think this is a little vampired, I was vampired, bro. And I was like, in the car, I wasn't drunk enough. And we walked in, and it's fucking Kiefer Sutherland, bro.
Holy shit.
And yes. And he's fucking hammered. Fucking hammered. And he's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." And he comes in, and we're talking music. We're talking all this shit. And he's playing things for me. I'm singing. I don't know how I even ended up singing. I can't imagine what that sounded like. And right before I left, bro, this is such a tangent story. Right before I left, I said I had to get the balls, right? Because I had a lot of his bourbon, special bourbon he got. I'm like, let me be clear with you. How was filming The Lost Boys?
Did you talk Lost Boys? You had to talk fucking Lost Boys.
I had to. He said, "Best time of my life, man." And he gave me his fucking phone number, and he's never answered my text since that day. But I will tell you, this makes no sense of what we're talking about, but I will say those little life experiences really shape who you are. So having Bon Jovi on a song would be cool.
That's awesome. I actually saw Kiefer Sutherland back when I lived in Philly play a club just over a year ago. It was a cool thing. It was a really cool thing seeing him play. Yeah.
You'll meet, being in Hollywood for 15 years, I've met a lot of celebrities, and I've hung out with a lot of celebrities, and I've been in a lot of house parties with a lot of celebrities. They didn't end up being there. And I will say he was the coolest one I've ever met.
Wow.
He didn't care who I was. He didn't even ask. He was just like, "Welcome to my home. I'm here with I think he was his girlfriend, his house manager, whatever the fuck that means, and basically just getting hammered in his house playing vinyl." And
that's awesome.
Kiefer fucking, I mean, those are the people that make you have hope in life. It's like, okay, man, thank you. Thank you, because I worship you, and you're on my body. Thank you.
Did you show him?
Huh?
Did you show him?
Oh, I didn't have it at the time. Oh, bro, you could bet your ass I would have showed him. Like, especially if I was a little drunk. If I was sober, though, there's no fucking way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
Full story.
Dude, this has been fucking amazing, and definitely one of my favorite interviews I've done in a long time.
Oh, it's always great, man. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And hey, once all this craziness is over, get down here to Nashville. Let's drink some old fashions.
Oh, bro, you got me in Nashville. I love Nashville. Unfortunately, I went to a club there during the pandemic. I had to. I forgot the name of it. It was a 3-story club.
Okay.
Stage here, stage here, stage here.
One of the honky tonks, it sounds like?
Yes. And I met this reality star there, which I don't remember, but he's definitely on my phone. And he's like, "Hey, man, I'm not into country, so I don't know this guy by name, but he's like, so-and-so's having a party down the street." And it was like of the nature of like a Garth Brooks nature, like of that level.
Yeah.
I forgot the fucking name. And he's like, "Do you want to come with me?" I'm like, "Bro, you spit all over my face for the last four hours." I was like, I'm having a fucking panic attack. I'm going to go back and try to record a record tomorrow and get some sort of test or something. So you have a good time doing that. But I mean, I almost moved to Nashville. I was almost there. I chose Vegas instead because it's closer to LA, and I still have a familiarity with that. Nashville's another vibe.
Yeah.
That's another vibe, dude. It's
Yeah.
like Florida and LA had a child.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I love the music there. I love all music. Like, you won't catch me listening to too much country, but if there was country playing in a bar, I'd be the first person at the stage, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're the most talented motherfuckers I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Talent.
I agree.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, dude, where should we tell everybody to go? Where should we tell them to get the new single? More information? Give all the digits, the plugs, and everything.
I'll get it. Type Dead Girls Academy into your Google browser. We will pop up. And if you feel so obliged, go check out our music. And currently we have Alchemy, which is our past record streaming. And funny enough, we have 2 versions of This Is War streaming right now after we signed Submission 2. And we have a video on YouTube, This Is War. Go check that out. And obviously the rest of our other videos. And if you did stay tuned and watch this banter, I really appreciate you all. And obviously, thank you so much for having me. I mean, honestly,
absolutely.
I respect you a lot, and this means a lot.
Back at you, my friend. Back at you. Cool. All right. Well, hang tight. And I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and I'm going to say goodbye to you privately.
All right. Sounds good.